I can't really call this an unboxing, but let's take the shrink off the latest from Pink Floyd, 8 tracks. Come in and have a look. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hoping a great morning this morning. It is Thursday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Yes, I've already unshrunk it. I've taken it for time and noise and everything else. I've left the hype stickers on here. As you saw when the intro, I still had the shrink on, but I decided to take the shrink off for the video. And I still don't understand. Maybe you guys can help me. Whenever I put up a lighter colored album, my camera darkens. Why is that? I don't like that. I don't like that. Anyway, the compilation album from Pink Floyd released June 5th, just last week, 2026, on Sony Music. It has 8 tracks from 8 different albums that have been remastered by Steven Wilson. And the cool thing about it is that each song blends into the next, which is a really, really cool feature. Especially when you're listening on headphones, no breaks between tracks. It's remarkable. I've been listening to this one on Spotify for quite a bit. Today will be the first time I'll be hearing this one on vinyl. So let's open it up and have a look. So again, on the outside, you've got the outer cover. On the back, you've got the photo. This is from an album. I can't remember which album it is now. Of that photo of the guys. The track listing below. One of these days. What's the deal? Money. Another Brick in the Wall Part 2. Wish You Were Here. Time. Comfortably Numb. And Pigs on the Wing, which was really only available on an 8-track version way back in the day. The inner sleeve with the lyrics from all the tracks. Blurry photos. And I wish there was a really blurry photo. I wish there was a better photo of the boys as well. But this is the side 2 of that lyrics cover, inner cover, and then the blue vinyl, which is beautiful. And I've noticed that they've kept Roger Waters and David Gilmour separate, which is kind of weird because they were the main writing team of the of the band. But there was obviously rifts between the two. Maybe that was done on purpose, maybe whatever. But yeah, it's just noticeable. One thing I also noticed is here's the photos of the albums that these came from. Yeah. It's cool that again, each track blends into the next. Pardon me. One of these days into What's the Deal. So you got that ambient texture of the opener bleeding into that acoustic intro of a really tame and soft track from What's the Deal. What's the Deal into Money. The fade out track morphs into that iconic rhythmic cash register sound effect, which is really, really cool. The Money into Another Brick on the Wall. You hear that ending chatter of the background voices of Money transition into a children's playground, and you hear children playing in the background, which is cool as well. Another Brick on the Wall Part 2 into Wish You Were Here. That fading helicopter and shouting effects dissolve into that acoustic radio tuning sound. Then Wish You Were Here into Time. The final acoustic notes drifting into the iconic clocks and alarms, ticking clocks and alarms, then timed into Comfortably Numb, that closing synthesizer and keyboards from Time blends into that orchestral first intro notes of Comfortably Numb. And then Comfortably Numb into Pigs of the Wing. Even before that amazing guitar solo ends, you can hear and start to hear sheep and cows baying in the background. It's awesome. It's a really cool feature of the album, making it completely different from just a normal greatest hits album, this is kind of a greatest hits. Of course, the highlight of the album and what people are most interested in, I think anyway, is Pigs on the Wing. Edited by Steven Wilson from an 8-track version from 1977, only available at that time on 8-track of Animals. This one also features that guitar solo of Snowy White's on here. So now we get to hear the Snowy White guitar solo off of this one. So I mentioned 8 tracks on this one. One of These Days from Metal, 1971. What's the Deal, obscured by Clouds, 1972. Money, The Dark Side of the Moon from 1973. Another Brick and Wall Part 2, a collection of great dance songs from 1981. Why they went to that, I'm not sure, because it kind of goes against the chronological order. But they also kind of went back in time as well. So you will go from Dark Side of the Moon 73 to 1981 on Collection of Great Dance Songs. Then back to 1975 and Wish You Were Here from Wish You Were Here. And then back to Dark Side of the Moon with Time in 1973. Then they jump up to 1979 with Comfortably Numb from the Wall. And then they go down to Pigs of the Wing, which is, again, that 8-track version of Animals. So chronologically, time-wise, they're not in order, but I think this blend makes sense. So you've got 2 tracks from Dark Side of the Moon on here, which is their most famous album, obviously. But it's weird to go from Wish You Were Here back down to Dark Side of the Moon with Time. Anyway, it's whatever they decided to do. I don't know why they did that. Maybe how the songs blend together. Maybe that made more sense. Again, I'm not Steven Wilson. I'm not who makes those decisions. Some say this is a money grab, and I can see that. Pardon me, except for the Pigs on the Wings 8-track version. I've got all these songs already on original albums. But as a completist, I think it's worth the purchase. And it's a different listening experience, especially with that blending of tracks. And also, especially when you listen to it on headphones, as I normally do. Not necessarily in the house, but when I'm out and about. But it's nice to have in my collection, put it that way. And that you got that beautiful blue vinyl, which makes it nice as well. But yeah, there you have it, guys. 8 tracks from Pink Floyd. Let me know what you think below, and see if you're going to get the album or not. And have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.